Hello, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It is Victor once again. It's another day, and we have another scholarship. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Where have you been? There are lots of videos here on fully funded scholarships from around the world. So look around. I'm sure you'll find something that interests you. And of course, if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. Today, we are at Cornell University in the US in search of master's and PhD opportunities as usual. And I'll be taking you through things like the English language requirements and English language waivers, the application fee waivers, and GRE waivers. So there are lots of waivers at this university and lots of money as well, lots of funding for fully funded opportunities. So let's begin without any further delay. So this is Cornell, and we're actually starting on Google. So a number of people would ask, just send us the link, give us the link. It's more of, giving you the fish rather than teaching you how to fish. So here I will show you how to dig up the opportunities yourself, how to use a simple Google search to find amazing, wonderful opportunities. So we're on Google, and now we just typed Cornell University in the Google search bar. And there's another small bar here, and let's start with the application fee waivers. Application fee waiver and see what comes up. So there is this one for grad school. Yes, I think this is what we want. And then let's see what comes up. So application fees. So it's over $100, and that's a lot of money, especially if you're coming from the global south, where the currency conversion rate is just crazy. So that's a lot of money. We need a waiver. So how do we get one? Fortunately, waivers are available for both international and US applicants. You can see it here, US applicants, international applicants. So that's good. And waivers are given on the basis of financial hardship. You can see it here, the two criteria. You can see one here, financial hardships, and this one, another, a certain graduate path. I think this will apply more to US students, and there are several programs you can participate in as a US citizen or permanent resident that will get you a waiver. For the hardship, anybody can claim hardship, but just make sure that you have to show evidence of financial hardship. There has to be an evidence, and you can apply for this directly when you're applying um, your your um, graduate course. So show the financial conditions in your home country. For instance, show the recent exchange rates that the dollar has gone up compared to your local currency. Show unemployment letters. Show employment letters, but the small salary or things like, just to demonstrate to them that you're actually struggling financially and you cannot pay this amount of money that you're requesting. I think you submit the application for a waiver at the same time as your um, application for the course. So it's written here, if you think you're eligible for a waiver, please submit your application and a fee waiver request at the same time. Write in the application form. So there's a fee waiver form also embedded in the application form. So your fee waiver request will be reviewed, and then within 1 to 3 business days, you get a response whether you actually get one or not. So you'll be told whether you're denied or your application has been accepted for a waiver. So the instruction is just here, read through, and you'll be fine. The good news is that it is available for both international applicants as well as US applicants. So it's good. Go for it, please. Enjoy. So, having discussed that, let's go to something else. Let's go to the English proficiency. That's another headache. Do you need to write the TOEFL or the IELTS? So let's write English. Oh, and by the way, English is a proper noun, so it should be in capital letter. You know. So English proficiency. Let's see what comes up. English proficiency for grad school. I hope you can see how I'm digging up these different pieces of information. So it says the regular things, the IELTS or the TOEFL. These are professional English exams, quite expensive to take, quite time consuming and quite annoying already if you've been speaking English since nursery school. So there are exemptions, and that's good. And there are exemptions. However, it is stated here that even if you're exempted, when you get into the university and when you're given a graduate assistantship, that's a TA, either a teaching assistant or a research assistant, you need to take an internal exam, English exam in the university. But this one, fortunately, you wouldn't have to pay for it. So if you are given an exemption, there are different conditions under which can be exempted. And the first one is when speaking in the majority English speaking, or you've been living in a majority English speaking country. The other ones here about schooling in the English speaking country for a while and things like that. I'm sure you qualify for one of these ones. But the fact I want to draw your attention to is that even after you get an exemption and even after you get in, you still have to take a test to prove your English language proficiency, and it's written here. However, applicants admitted to research degrees may still need to complete the English language assessment before being a TA, that's a teaching assistant. And that's good. I think every university should do this. So if you claim you know how to speak the English language, you know how to write, you know how to understand, that's fine. When you come in, we'll test you. And if you don't get it, then we're kicking you out. I know that's a little bit of a time consuming thing because you've already traveled, said bye bye to your friends and relatives, and now you're in the US and now you're being kicked back. A little bit harsh, but you made the claim that you can speak the language and you can write in the language. So prove it to us, and you don't have to pay for it. So there's an English language internal test at Cornell, which to me is the perfect idea to help you cut the cost of the IELTS or the TOEFL in the first place. So we have exemptions. Congratulations. But also be prepared for the internal English assessment. So we have that out of the way. And what else? Let's go to the different graduate courses and see things like the GRE or GMAT. Do you need to take any of those exams? So we'll find out in the different courses. And I think it is important to note that there might be variations, so depending on the course you're applying for, one course might say yes, another one might say no. But generally, I think a number of universities in the US are waiving the GRE as well. Since COVID, a number of them are saying, "Do not worry, just come." Yeah. So, or some of them would say it is optional. So let's see. So these are the courses A to Z, and let's choose a random number. I usually like B for some reason. So let's go to courses in B, and let's go to the biological, environmental, environmental engineering, and see, for example, what they accept. So, PhD, biological and environmental engineering. As I often say, you can move directly from a bachelor's to a master's or to a PhD without doing a master's. So, BSc to PhD without doing a master's. It's common in the US. So, do not worry. You can move directly, and you have more funding in PhDs than master's courses. So now this is biological and environmental engineering sciences, or PhD. And let's see the application requirements. The deadline is in December, 1st of December. I'm trying to check if there is anything about the GRE. So here it says GRE scores not required. Let's make that bold for those at the back to see. So GRE scores not required. And you need recommendation letters. You need the resume. You have to of course, fulfill the English language requirement. We've talked about that already, and the graduate school requirement. So when you get to this page, it's also good to visit the web page of the department itself. So this is just like a preview of what the department requires from applicants. We can always go to the department page to actually see what they do there and get the details of what you need to put in place. So this is it. So this is the department. If this is where you want to go, familiarize yourself with what they are doing here. I've gone to graduate studies. I've gone to the PhD page. And yes, so you read through and see how this aligns with your interest. You need all these details, by the way, to write like your statement of purpose to show that you've done your background research. Don't just rush to apply. I see a number of people doing that in this channel a lot. You share a link to a particular post or a particular scholarship, and the next minute somebody's already asking you a question. I'm already applying, I'm having a problem. And I'm like, wait, how come you're already applying? Have you read all the details? Have you contacted the department whether you need a supervisor or not? How come you're rushing to apply without digesting the information? So take it easy, guys. Take a step back. Do your research. This is competitive, no rushing. Of course, do it before the deadline. So the details, and then we'll go to the application, the criteria, what do you need to put in place, interest, motivation, related experience, academic records, the TOEFL or the IELTS if you're international. Interview, there might be an interview, interesting. Recommendation letters. Then you talked about application fees. We've talked about this already, and the cost is $105. But fortunately, on the extreme financial need, you can get waivers. We've talked about the waiver already. This link would also send you back there to the page we actually started with, how you can get financial relief or application fee waivers from the graduates department. That was the place we actually started. So it's here. That's good. Deadlines, also check for the deadlines. Um, there is something about the spring intake for this department. It might not be so for every department, so be careful. Spring intake is usually like February, March. Not every department accepts for February, March. The majority will accept for September, and the deadline for September intake is usually December. The majority will accept for fall. Few might accept for spring. Check for your own department and see what they are giving. And of course, you can always go to the frequently asked questions section as well to get full details. And funding, yes, money. Because what's the point if there's no money? How can you how can you fund your study? So there is money here that most graduate students, I think by most they mean mostly PhDs, I must say. Yes, there are master's scholarships in the US, but the majority are for PhD students. So the majority of them get full funding, and the funding will come in form of assistantships and the rest of them. And there's an estimate of over $36,000 per year that you will get as funding. So that's great. That's good money. And that's for biology, of course. Check for your own department, see what's happening there. And let's check for a non-STEM department. Let's see, do they have politics here? It's Cornell. They should have politics. Cornell, by the way, is one of the Ivy Leagues. That's one of the top universities in the US, top in quotation marks, because there are lots of good universities in the US. And they also have lots of money, endowment funds and so on. So let's go on. Is there any politics here? Okay, there's no politics. Actually, they have a politics department, what is called government. Let's go to the government department. So government, boom, this is government. So let's go there and see what government requires. Do they need a GRE? Do they need this? Do they need that? Let's clarify. So of course, general description about the course, the different subfields, the deadline. You see, this one is just for fall intake, and the deadline is on the 15th of December. So pay attention to department variations. They also talk about English language test, recommendation letters writing. There's no mention of GRE here, but remember, we need to visit the web page of the department to get full details on the applications requirements. So, Department of Government, shall we? So we are there, Department of Government, nice department by the way, and we go to graduate program. Go to graduate program and see what they're up to, and of course read the application section as well. Application materials. Talked about the TOEFL or the IELTS if applicable. Very good. They added the phrase if applicable. For us, hopefully it's not applicable. Your full transcript, letter of recommendation, research statement of purpose, a writing sample. We didn't see this in biology, I think. Well, now they're asking for a writing sample at the Department of Government. So take note. Let's go. Any other thing? Oh, good. They said effective 2023, we no longer accept GRE scores. Beautiful. So no GRE again. Wonderful. So I do not want to make the general claim that all departments at Cornell no longer require the GRE. But I would say for the ones we've checked, we're using inductive method here. For the ones we've checked, I do not want to make quick generalization, but for the ones we've checked, the GRE is not required. So fingers crossed that for your own department, the GRE is also not required. And yes, there's also mention of the application fee waiver that we saw earlier. So, guys, you're in good hands at Cornell. We've checked for application fee waivers, we've checked for IELTS, TOEFL waivers, and GRE waivers as well. So, it's good news. Please go for these opportunities. So, where do we go from here? But just to remind you that we started all these things from a simple Google search. And this is an important lesson for all of you, how to dig up information through Google. The internet is an open resource, so just take out some time, dig in, and find the information that you need, and you'll be blown at the number of goodies and freebies that you find in form of fully funded scholarships from around the world, not just in the US, by the way. So please be industrious, be inquisitive, be hardworking when it comes to finding opportunities for yourself. And because of that, I won't be leaving any link in the description box of this video. So please do not ask me for a link. Just find through Google. And I hope this was useful, guys. Fully funded scholarships in the US at the Cornell University. Of course, there are others on the channel. Look around. I'm sure you'll find others that pique your interest and apply. And by the way, when you join the channel, you get to see the amazing offers in our community tab. Lots of people are winning lots of wonderful scholarships. Like this person won a scholarship at Notre Dame and resuming this August. Wonderful university with lots of funding and lots of good news. So do not be a stranger. Join the community, subscribe. As usual, we cannot wait to celebrate you. Get to work. It's the application season. Start putting your documents together. And I'll see you at the top sooner than later. Bye bye for now.